This old white woman is actually a young black woman. This young handsome fellow is few lifetimes older than he looks. This old paralyzed man is neither actually old nor paralyzed. This young white woman is actually herself for now, but it's going to change soon. If you are wondering what I am blabbering about, I am talking about a movie called The Skeleton Key. In this movie, nothing is what it seems. People are not who you think they are. Dead people are not actually dead. Superstitions are not mere superstitions. In a glance, movie plot looks like this. There is an old creepy house in a bayou. An old couple lives in there. People in this area believe in their own local brand of witchcraft called hoodoo. Hoodoo is different from voodoo. There were two famous hoodoo practitioners used to live in the house. They were famous for trying to create an immortality spell. Their belongings, including magical trinkets and spellbooks, are still in the attic of that house. Old woman and her lawyer are practicing hoodoo and they are trying to complete the immortality spell. They have lured a young woman into the house to use as a sacrifice. In a typical movie, you would expect the young woman to fight against evil witches and escape this house of horror. The protagonist in this movie, the young woman, nearly managed to win. Or at least that's what you believe until the very end of the movie. Then a massive plot twist happens. It reveals that the young woman never had an upper hand. She was walking into a trap which was carefully laid out by the old woman and the lawyer. The young woman was chosen as a sacrifice, but not in the traditional sense. Witches were not going to kill her. Instead, they chose her to be the next host for a witch who was thought to have died a long time ago. With this revelation, you get to know the real identities of the characters. If you are interested in a rewatch, this knowledge of their true identities give you a new perspective to enjoy the movie. Especially, some dialogues between the old woman and the young lawyer give different meanings when you know their true identities and their real relationship between one another. I almost missed another important layer of details about people's identities. Before I explain what I nearly missed, let's figure out real identities of these characters and who is who. This is Papa Justify and Mama Cecile. They were a married couple. They were servants to the original owner of this massive house. They were renowned witch doctors among hoodoo practitioners in their time. They were famously trying to create a sacrificial ritual to prolong their lives. They tried to sacrifice their master's two children but were caught. For their crime, they were lynched by an angry mob. At least that's what everyone thought. Even hoodoo practitioners who actually aware of Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's research got one thing wrong about the nature of the sacrifice. They thought that Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's method required to kill someone to steal their remaining lifetime to add on to your lifetime so you could live longer than a normal human. What the ritual actually does is it allows the witch to transfer their soul to the sacrifice body. That way, the witch can live the rest of the sacrificer's life using their body as a host. When the host gets old, witch need to find a new body to jump into. So starting from the beginning, Papa Justify and Mama Cecile successfully jump into their master's two children's bodies. When these two siblings grew old, they jumped into Ben and Violet Devereaux's bodies. They are the two old couple living in the house. Since they are too old, it's time to move on to new bodies. Papa Justify had already jumped into his new host, which is the young lawyer Luke Marshall. Actually, in the movie, we are seeing Mama Cecile making her jump from her old host to her new host, which is this young nurse, Caroline Ellis. So it is clear that Papa Justify and Mama Cecile have jumped into two siblings, then into the old couple, and finally jumped into the lawyer and the nurse. What happens to their old hosts? This is where I almost lost a very crucial detail. I thought two witches were possessing their hosts. So when they leave their old hosts for new ones, all hosts became themselves and regain control of their bodies. And that's why two witches use hoodoo remedies to induce paralysis in their old hosts to silence them. So again from the beginning, Papa Justify and Mama Cecile transferred their consciousness to two children and possessed them. The angry mob hanged two empty vessels. Then they jumped from two siblings to Ben and Violet's bodies and killed off two siblings by inducing strokes. Then they jumped from Ben and Violet to the lawyer and Caroline. Old Ben was already on induced paralysis. We actually see that Mama Cecile force feeds some potion to Violet to induce paralysis in her. In this scene, old Ben and Violet are looking at each other helplessly. But actually that's not what's happening here. There is another layer of detail which is going to make things even more sinister. When Mama Cecile, who is now in her new host body, feeds the paralyzing potion to the old woman, she does not call her as Violet. Instead, she says, there, Caroline, which means Violet is not in her body. Her body is now occupied by Caroline's consciousness. So what really happening is, Papa Justify and Mama Cecile are not possessing their host bodies. They completely swap their souls with souls of their hosts. So when they jump to new hosts, host souls get transferred into witches' old bodies. So back to the beginning. Papa Justify and Mama Cecile swap their souls with these two children. Angry Mob actually hanged two siblings who were in Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's original bodies. When two siblings' bodies got old, two witches swapped bodies with Ben and Violet Devereaux. Ben and Violet died in two siblings' bodies. When Ben and Violet's bodies got old, Papa Justify swapped body with the young lawyer. This paralyzed old man, who was desperately trying to get help, is actually the young lawyer who is trapped in an old man's body. When Mama Cecile swapped body with the young nurse Caroline, Caroline got trapped in old Violet's body. She desperately tried to get attention of her best friend Jill, but induced paralysis prevented her from seeking help. This paralyzed old couple in the ambulance, who are exchanging helpless, knowing looks, are not Ben and Violet Devereaux, but the very young souls of Caroline Ellis and the lawyer Luke Marshall. If everything works out according to Papa Justify and Mama Cecile's plan, both Caroline and the lawyer would soon die in the old couple's bodies, possibly from magically induced strokes. If you know any movies or stories with similar plot twists, mention them in the comments. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more similar content. Have a nice day.